gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls and Denver Nuggets game reaction, in which for the second time this season the Chicago Bulls get absolutely blown out at home. Now, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about this situation. I don't know if I should be feeling angry. I don't know if I should be feeling sad, disappointed, frustrated. I don't know if I should be ranting about the situation. And ultimately, I'm not going to lie, I don't know which direction this video is going to go down. When we further talk about, I guess, everything that went wrong for the Chicago Bulls, I guess my true emotions will kind of come out a little bit. I don't really know how I'm supposed to feel in this type of environment, in this type of situation where I felt like it was just so disappointing in every sense of the word. It was disappointing to the point of amazement of how disappointing it really was, and the fact that it's happened at home again makes it 10 times worse. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game today. Don't bother about the player of the game. There's no one really that deserves the player of the game in this timeout. But your overall thoughts and opinions on how the Chicago Bulls played. We lost this game 126-103, blown out in every sense of the word. Started off in the first quarter, never really looked back since. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we ever had the lead in this game. I'm pretty sure Denver led from the first minute all the way to the last. So yeah, basically the Bulls got manhandled, the Bulls got dominated, the Bulls got destroyed. Pick any word you like for it, that's what the Bulls got today. And look, we usually have good track records against Denver. We can't lie and say we don't, but we obviously have a good track record against Denver with no Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic plays in this game, and it's a completely different game for Denver, and I guess you can see the night and day performances with Jokic out of the lineup and Jokic in the lineup. I believe still, even though we got blown out, without Nikola Jokic in the lineup, we actually had a positive plus-minus compared to when he was in the lineup. So he makes a very big difference, ladies and gentlemen, but my goodness, was it an absolute mauling that the Denver Nuggets gave to the Chicago Bulls. And I look at everybody on this team and it's just pure frustration of how we actually played. I'm genuinely stunned at how the Bulls approached this game. And again, it was a mistake from the very beginning, the way that we approached this game. I feel like the Bulls came into this game with the wrong mindset, the wrong mentality, and there's no excuse. We have had a very tough schedule throughout this season. There's no excuse for a game like this. We had days off. Our toughest part of our schedule has come and gone. We got the breaks, we got our training sessions in, we're able to work on ourselves, and we still got blown out in this game. So what is the excuse for that, ladies and gentlemen? And the truth of the matter is, we got outplayed by the better team today, and it was not even close how good Denver were compared to this Bulls team. We want to talk about randomness on offense. We want to talk about unpredictability on offense. We want to talk about involvement on offense. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the Denver Nuggets. They're the pinnacle, in my opinion, of the teams that we've versed so far, that create random offense, that generate very good scoring production from everybody, and can get people to do unpredictable things. Look at how Denver absolutely destroyed the Chicago Bulls from the three-point line. Look at how they created very good cuts to the rim, very good foul opportunities, very good layup opportunities. Look at how they controlled the post game as well. Every single way, form and fashion, probably except for the mid-range, like the way that DeMar DeRozan shoots, they dominated in terms of the scoring side of things. So we obviously need to work on our defense, but at the end of the day, we need to look at Denver, in my opinion. You got to watch film on how Denver play, and you got to figure out how we can create that many random shots, that many random opportunities. I know Nikola Jokic is obviously a big reason why they're able to just be as unpredictable as they are, because he creates so much attention on the scoring side of things that we put a lot of pressure on him. I think we prioritized Nikola Jokic too much in this game, if you know what I'm saying, because he only had 9 points, but he created so much pressure. He forced so much attention. He had 14 assists in today's game. 9 of them were in the first half. That is an unbelievably strong performance from Nikola Jokic, who is an MVP caliber player, yet didn't really have to do much of the scoring himself in this game. Everybody around him helped him, and at the end of the day, he absolutely killed us with some killer passes. He destroyed our defense, and we put so much pressure on him that it allowed him to do that, and he did it very, very well. And that randomness on offense, that creativity on offense that Denver had, we seriously need to look at them and try to figure that out, because I don't see random random offense on this team. I don't see unpredictability on this team. I don't see players doing things we didn't do last year on this team. At least in this game specifically, you could arguably say some of the other games as well. I'm not seeing what's being preached about this team right now. I'm not seeing all those positives that we saw from the preseason, all the positives that people were talking about and what we want to instill in this team. I'm not seeing it right now. This game, that Cavs game, a couple of the other losses that we've had, where we have been close and competitive, and for the most part, we should be giving this team a lot of credit for battling the way that they have with this team in terms of the schedule that they've had. But this is an unacceptable loss. This loss, I can't see where that progression was made. And I'm hoping for a response, as every time we get blown out, we need a response. We need to find a way to win in the next time out. But how confident are you going into New Orleans home ground, the Pelicans home turf, and trying to get a win away from home? How confident are you that we can do that? Because I'll tell you what, this type of performance here does not bring me much confidence at all. And we're going to be focusing on our own stats, ladies and gentlemen, and on our own performances, just as much as it's about, I guess, us trying to look at Denver, try and take some things away from Denver, which we 100% need to do, because I feel like that type of offense is what the Chicago Bulls should be striving for, and we're not anywhere really close to that. We're not unpredictable at all. In fact, I would argue we are probably the most predictable team in the league with how our offense goes right now, with how Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine all play together. I think we're extremely predictable, and we're not really practicing what we were preaching in the preseason. But we got to look at our own performances, our turnovers. We had 18 turnovers in this game, yet Denver had more, and they're still blowing us out by 20 points, more than 20 points. The three-point shooting on this team is absolutely abysmal, ladies and gentlemen. 6 from 22 three-point shots, and for the most part, a lot of that game, we only made 4. I think we made 2 late threes in the game when the game was already dead and buried, which I don't really like to count, in all honesty. So we had basically 4 three-pointers that the majority of the game that actually meant something. So very, very disappointing in that avenue as well. And again, I feel like our team play was not team play. I feel like this was just isolation basketball. I don't see any ball movement. I don't see any play movement. I don't see anything of significance from this team. This was last year's performance. This was last year's Chicago Bulls, and we absolutely got destroyed because of that. Now, is this the end of the Chicago Bulls? I still don't believe so. But how many losses like this can we take until this team, the fans of this team, the players of this team have had absolutely enough and changes need to be made? How many more performances are we going to see like this? How many performances and losses are we going to take until enough is enough? I still have faith in this team. I'm praying that when Lonzo Ball comes back, we will see some randomness and some creativity in this team. I'm hoping that's the case. But changes will need to be made if we're going to keep on seeing these types of performances. With Lonzo Ball or without Lonzo Ball, this team is still good enough to win games. This team is definitely good enough to not get blown out by Denver at home. Get blown out Denver away, they're a great team. You give respect to Denver, they are a very good team. No one will ever dispute that. But getting blown out at home against Denver, I think is unacceptable. Just like getting blown out against any team, you have to defend home court. You have to give the fans that pay their hard-earned money to come and see your team something to cheer about. Give them an entertaining game. Even if you lose against Denver, give them something that will make them worth coming and make them want to come again. It's so frustrating to know that both of our blowouts have come in front of our United Center crowd, in front of the Bulls Arena. And I'm from Australia, I'm on the other side of the world. Something like that should mean nothing to me, yet it does. It means everything to me, because it just frustrates me that those guys went to Chicago, went to the United Center. Some of them probably even traveled from across the world to go see this game, and that's the performance that they can give out. It is very disappointing, and I expect better from this team, and I really, really do. I don't know where else I'm going to go in terms of this video. I'm looking at the stats. I don't really want to talk about anybody. I really, really don't. I'm going to give my player of the game. The must approve is the whole team. I think that goes without saying. My player of the game is going to be Andre Drummond with a 13 and 11.9. Zach LaVine had 21 points, but again, he shot 1 from 6 from the three-point line. I'm just extremely frustrated, in all honesty, with how this game actually went about. And I know this team could do so much better than that, but it's not about this team can do so much better. It's about this team doing better. And if we constantly see performances where, yes, there are some performances we play amazing. That Hornets game comes to mind. We played so good in that game. Everything went to play. I felt like the Raptors win at home was our biggest win of our season. And we showed something. We showed new elements of our team there. But performances like this show that we're still not perfect. We're still not at the level that we want to be. And in all honesty, we may never get to that level that we want to be. And that is the frustrating part. And it's one that many people don't want to believe will happen. And I don't want to believe it will happen. I still don't believe it will happen. But performances like this brings us back to reality. And it shows us that this team still has so much work to do. And we may never get to that level that we want to get with this team. I'm hoping things can change. I'm praying things can change. And ultimately, more performances like this. And I don't know how much faith I'll have in this team anymore. I cannot keep seeing losses like this. And I definitely can't keep seeing losses at home, disappointing performances at home as well. Things have to pick up from here. The Bulls record is 6-8. I know I'm, for a team that is only 2 games behind 500, I'm kind of reacting, and I guess many people might think I'm overreacting in many ways, but realistically, most teams are only 2-3 games minus 500 right now. There are not many teams, unless they're tanking or they've had a really dreadful start to the year, that are 1-10 or 1-11 or whatever the case may be. There are not many teams out there that are like that now, ladies and gentlemen, but most teams are around 2-3 games below 500 or 2-3 games above 500. This is where it starts, ladies and gentlemen. You might look at our record now and say, look, it's not that bad, we could bounce back from it, and you're absolutely right, but negative records start from the beginning. They don't just all of a sudden, maybe at least for the Bulls in terms of the All-Star break last year, our season plummeted from there, but a lot of negative records start from the beginning and they manifest over the course of the regular season. So I'm hoping we don't see that, but that is definitely something that could be the case. And we are playing very inconsistent basketball right now, which is why we are around the 500 mark, or right now we are below the 500 mark. Before, obviously, I talk about the next game, I do want to give respect to the Denver Nuggets. Look, it's frustrating to lose. I know there will be at least some Denver Nuggets fans that will be watching this video, a couple of them, and maybe they can look at this video and they'll be very happy about it because obviously they won and a lot of Bulls fans are not happy. But I will give respect where it's due, as I try to do with every team that comes in and plays the Chicago Bulls when they play well. Denver played unbelievably strong basketball. Obviously, Nikola Jokic is a great player. He's an amazing player. And the fact that he had to do what he did without even getting 10 points, without even getting a triple-double, he still controlled the game like that is truly unbelievable. And I really feel like, in terms of all the teams that we've versed thus far, I think we can take so much out of this Denver game. And I feel like we need to look at them and try to figure out how we can have a similar style to them, because that's how good their offense has been. Obviously, they're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA. I don't think you can just get to that level unless you go get talent that can shoot the three ball, and we're not one of those teams. We're not a three-point shooting team, but the cuts to the basket, something we can learn from. Getting to the foul line the way that they did, something we can learn from. The amount of assists that they got, not just from Nikola Jokic, but from everybody around that team, is something we need to learn from, and it has to be consistent from this team. And unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. And and because of that, we are now a minus 500 record. Our next game is against the New Orleans Pelicans. Once again, I believe we could beat the Pelicans. I think the game at home shows we can compete with the Pelicans. But at the end of the day, what Bulls team are we going to see against the Pelicans? That's the real question. Are we going to see a competitive Bulls side? Because that's the side I want to see. But will we see a side that will just get blown out again? I don't know. I honestly do not know. I think it's too early to give up on this team, but some people might, and that's their choice, each to their own. I respect that opinion, as I try to do with most opinions, but how many performances are we going to keep on seeing until most people will give up on this team? And maybe we're far away from that, maybe we're not, I don't know. I don't want to see a performance like this again, but I said that against the Cavs, and we've seen it again here. Getting blown out, look, it's going to happen. Every team will get blown out eventually. We've seen a lot of teams get blown out already in this year. But the fact that it's at home both times, I hate it. I hate losing at home. I hate getting blown out at home. But again, it is what it is now, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to face the reality. We lost. We move on to the next one. We go to the Pelicans. We go out west and we try to take a win there. In my opinion, this is the type of game where if we beat Denver and we lost to the Pelicans, I think a lot of people would have found that normal. If we lose at home to Denver, then we go and beat the Pelicans away. This season's very, very crazy, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll wait and see what happens. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.